right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Chamber Chat. I got a very special guest in the car with me today, and I'm going to let her introduce herself, and we will kick it off from there.
All right, well, I'm going to start with the fun stuff first. After I rode my motorcycle for 2 years from here to the southern tip of South America, I came back and started this business, and it's simply called Jalene Case Consulting and Coaching. And I get to work with leaders and teams and help them connect better with each other and do what matters most. That's the essence of it.
And we're going to get more into that trip in a little bit, but so obviously you do your coaching and your leadership and your all that. How would you describe, I don't know, your specialty, or is it sort of different areas? Why'd you get into it? What's the whole background on it?
Oh goodness, the background. Let's see. We'll start with the background and then go into just a basic description of what I do now. So background is I worked for 35 years, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, in business, mostly in the food service brokerage industry, which is kind of a niche industry in the brokerage industry. And then I moved to the Oregon coast and started to work at a nonprofit, the Sitka Center for Art and Ecology. And I became the executive director there. And that was very transformational in my life, because I shifted from for-profit, regular businesses for 35 years to nonprofit, and to also working with creative, interesting people who have really made intentional choices in their lives.
They're there because they care.
How they want to prioritize their work and their creativity. So then, in 2015, I left that job as an executive director. My husband left his good job at the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, and we decided to embark on this epic adventure, which was to rent out our house in Newport.
This is the craziest story, by the way.
Yeah. So I live in Newport. So we rented out our house, and we rode our 2 big BMW motorcycles from here. We actually went north to Calgary, Canada first.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought you hit south.
No, we sort of corkscrewed down, I like to say. And then we went across the U.S. east, because my husband wanted to visit cousins in Michigan. And then we wound down through Indiana and into Texas. And Texas is actually, eastern Texas is actually where we crossed into Mexico. And then the real adventure began. So, of course, that is life-changing.
Yeah.
And somewhere out there on the road, actually in northern Patagonia, I remember exactly where, I had 10 days all to myself. And I decided I was going to figure out, what do I want to do when I get back?
Did you lose him or something?
Right, he left, I know. He said he and a couple other guys wanted to go on this trip that was about 1,500 miles out of our way. And I said, no, I think I'll just hang out here and wait for you.
That's great.
So I waited in Puerto Varas in Chile and hung out in this just amazing dormer room with a view of a volcano and lake. And my room looked like It's a Beautiful Life. I was just, I was going down every rabbit hole I wanted to explore. Basically, do I want to be an executive director again, or do I want to start this business that I'd always wanted to start? And frankly, the dream of this business started with a master's degree from OSU.
Nice.
In 2011. I got a master's in education with a focus in organization and human resource education. So I always wanted to go in this direction. And so then, lots of serendipitous things happened along the way.
Yeah.
People I met, information I learned. I decided to add on to, I figured I've got some good solid business experience. I've got the education and facilitation experience, but I wanted to go deeper with people. I didn't want to just do a workshop or a class and then that was the end of it.
Right.
And so that's when I decided to add on a coaching certification. So I got that through a worldwide organization that's been around since coaching programs started.
Yeah.
And it was a year-long program, so very intense. And got that certification under my belt. So then this is how my business ended up being shaped. And small businesses, I mean, if you're a small business out there, the way you thought it was going to be and the way it is,
it's never.
It's very different. As someone told me early on, you are going to get so much professional and personal development. And I thought, oh, that's great. I love that.
That's what I want.
Oh my gosh. It's also really challenging, of course.
I saw a great quote yesterday or a couple of days ago, and it said, "I wanted to work for myself, so I got out of the 9 to 5 world, so I could work 24/7."
Right.
I was like, "What?"
Yes, that's exactly what it is. In fact, funny. I was walking. I have a little building in my backyard that I work in, so I was walking back to the house yesterday. I do that a lot, back and forth, back and forth. And my neighbor saw me, and he said, "Hey, are you on the phone or anything?" I said, "No, I'm just taking a break. I give myself breaks." And he goes, "Oh, I can never work for myself." Anyway, lots of trials and tribulations to figure that part out.
So it's got to be, making that leap, and like you said, obviously you had a extremely unique journey, on the motorcycle, but just sort of realizing that you wanted to do it. But there had to be an element of like, this is the scariest thing I've done, right? Or was it just kind of like, nah, it's the right thing, I'm good?
That's a great question. So
we asked the good questions.
Yeah, you do. So there's I'm going to answer that in 2 parts. First part is in 2011, when I finished my graduate degree, I started a business, and I called it Spark Training and Development. But I kept my day job. I was just kind of doing this on the side. Okay. And the impetus of that was the thing that lights me up is seeing the spark in someone else's eyes.
Yeah.
And they like get something, And so that was the impetus. And then, now I forgot the second part of the question. It was being scared, being terrified about oh God, now my income is on me now. Right. So for 35 years, I had a regular salary paycheck.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have ever made the leap from that to owning my business. But having those 2 years in between of using money differently as a resource in a different way, I didn't have any regular income. Yeah. So we just were, we tried to be as smart as we could about not spending very much. Yeah. But it just shifted my relationship with money.
Yeah.
So, and this is kind of one of the thoughts I had in those 10 days all to myself is I want to go all in on this dream of starting a business, just like I went all in on this trip. Yeah.
Because there's like that juxtaposition, right? Because you want to, a lot of people want to branch out, so they do sort of have their dream, but it's sort of the half dream because I've still got to balance these things, and then your dream never feels like what you want because you haven't been fully invested. It's the old jumping in with both feet.
Yes.
It's if you don't know, but if you do, it can be terrifying.
And there's no one right way to do it. It's different for everyone. But I will say I am forever grateful to my husband Keith for supporting me. He said right off the bat, I will support you until we get this thing going. Yeah. So I did have that. I didn't just jump without a net.
So why? And I always try to personalize it. Why do you do it? Why?
Yeah. So I should know my why. I've read the Simon book. I've read the Know Your Why. I've done all the exercises. It gives me satisfaction and fulfillment to be on the path with someone else in their growth. Because
that's cool.
I love growing. I love learning. I love changing. And to be able to support someone else in that process in whatever way, it doesn't mean I know how to do it. By no means am I pretending that. But to be in that kind of engaging, meaningful relationship really with the person. Yeah. That's why I do it.
So if I don't know if this is even an answerable question, but who is your ideal client, and who, I'm I need a coach. I'm just kind of stuck right now, or is it no, I'm going through something deep, kind of more it's coaching / therapy type thing, you know what I mean? Who is your ideal?
All right, so let's back up and say, what do I do?
Well, yeah,
what is my business?
That actually would be a good start.
Because it's not all coaching, and in fact, that's not the biggest part of my business now. That's one of those I thought it would look like this, and it looks completely different. Yeah. So I think of my business as having 3 pillars. The first is working with teams and leaders inside organizations. That by far is the largest part of my business, and so in that capacity, the way those clients look is you kind of think about a vehicle metaphor. All right, so sometimes the team leader comes to me and says, some version of this, I've got all the right people are on the bus. I just want to get us more in sync. I'm want to get us more, you know, clicking together because I know we can do great things. And then there's the leaders that come to me and say, no, we just need a tune-up. We've had some new people join us. We've gone through a pandemic.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not right.
Exactly. There's like, we need to get back on the same track with each other. And then there's people who are kind of broken down on the side of the road. and they're saying, oh, and really the word dysfunction comes up. Things are not going well. And so I work with them too. So those are kind of a few good examples of the team side.
Yeah.
And then the executive coaching side, so this is the second pillar, is the majority of people who come to me are a leader in some kind of capacity. Maybe they're emerging, maybe they're seasoned, and they're at the end of their career and they're saying, I want to really rock it these next 5 years, but I'm not sure what that looks like. So, you know, like on that end of it, they might be really examining, who do I want to be as a leader? What legacy do I want to leave? What, you know, how do I want to go out? On the emerging side, it might be, wow, I've got this big opportunity, but I don't got it. Like, I don't have what it takes yet. And so exploring, is that skills development? Is it, you know, it all comes down to inside, right? All styles of coaching come down into what's going on inside you. But those are the primary kinds of people who come to me. And then the third pillar is groups. So what that looks like is, for example, the Chamber of Commerce in Newport runs the leadership development programs for the county, right? And so I had the great honor of taking over from the man who started that almost 30 years ago, Dr. John Baker. So 3 years ago, he was ready to pass the baton over in his mid-80s. And so I got to do it, right? I got to take that over. And so now I've done it 3 full years. We're just getting ready to rock and roll for next fall starting. And so that's one kind of a group. Another kind of a group is, so I definitely don't work, even though a lot of my clients are in this area, I do have clients in far-flung places, we'll say. So I collaborated with a colleague on the East Coast. He lives near Portland, Maine. And we designed a self-leadership program. So it's virtual. It's 9 2-hour sessions. And, you know, really good leaders know it starts with them.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So it's really taking a deeper dive into those self-leadership skills so you can show up the way you want to show up. So those are the 3 areas mainly. So
you're sort of teasing it. I was going to ask, like, is everybody capable of being a leader? And I'm sure depending on what your role is, everybody has an aspect, but it's diving in and sort of teasing out of the person or the group or the team what they already have. You're just able to get it out. Is that?
Yes, I think it's
a crude way of saying it.
Yeah, no, I like to think of myself more as a facilitator and coach, or you can even say like a coach with a facilitator flair, or a facilitator with a coaching flair. Sometimes it's teaching, sometimes it's just teaching skills, but it's in a facilitative kind of way, style. Right. Yeah. So it is so much about, well, and actually that leads into this area, which has also become a cornerstone of my business, and I would have never thought of it until I connected with people along the way. And that is, in all 3 of these different areas, I use an assessment tool to just help it make it easier for people. You know, it's tough to dive into learning more about yourself and learning more about your skills and your strengths and so many different areas about ourselves, because we tell ourselves the same old stories over and over again. What we're good at, what we're bad at, you know, all that stuff. So I like to use assessment tools to help people have a starting point.
So Jalene did a workshop for us right at the start of the pandemic. Actually, I think you did too, right? And one of them had the assessment tool in it. It's super cool. Yeah. And it's almost, and some of it was like, I didn't. I'm like, no, that's not right. Oh man, maybe it is right.
People who say, oh, that's not right, that's not me. I say I can tell this specific story. I told this woman, well, you know, why don't you have someone you trust look at it? And so she took it home, showed her husband, and he said, oh, honey, that's you in a nutshell.
What? That is not me.
Yeah.
Like, maybe this is why you need coaching. This is why you need somebody
but
mentorship.
We also don't see our brightness, our strengths. So, I mean, I think as humans, we have this negativity bias. So we like to see all the things, or we naturally see. We don't like it, but we naturally say all the things we do wrong, where somebody's better than us. But this report helps suss out what's right.
Yeah.
And
I love
what do you want to lean into? That's where you're going to be a rock star.
Yeah. So one of the things we do on Chamber Chat, obviously we talk about business, talk about what you do, but we also like to get into who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're cool with it, I can throw out some very hard crafted, very tough questions to you, and see. We just learn a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sound good?
Okay. Go.
Favorite movie?
Oh, dang it. I watched one of your Chamber Chats and I thought,
there's like 5 or 6 standard questions.
I hope he asks different questions.
Nope.
Okay, here's the thing about the movies. I am terrible about... I'm going to give the same answer. I thought about this. Okay. I'm going to give the same answer I've given for a lot of years. This movie had a big impact on me, but really I need to watch it again. It was Out of Africa, and it was just so many years ago. Yeah,
that's a great movie.
But I generally love movies with strong female leads.
Okay.
Yeah.
More of like a sort of drama type person, more of action, romance, where all of the above.
Let's see. I'm not. It's not so much a rom-com thing as it is how people are doing great things.
All right.
But not action shoot 'em up. I don't like a lot of violence. Although my husband would beg to differ. Some of the Netflix shows I like to watch, but
some of the crazy ones.
Yeah.
No, I love it. You're sat at home. You're in your backyard. You just came out of your shed office, whatever that is, the extra building. Day's off. You're sat there on your deck. You got a glass of wine or something in your hand. What are you listening to?
Oh gosh. Okay, I have a great Spotify playlist called Good Juju. I was listening to it on the way here.
You made or you found it?
No,
you made it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just keep pulling songs into that. So I like songs.
What's the style?
Okay, so here's one of my favorites that I often play before when you need to sort of amp yourself up or get yourself ready to do something, right? Okay. I like to play this song and I like to dance to it a little bit.
Okay.
Definitely dancing is a part of it.
Yep.
And it is by Shaggy and it's called Hope. So I feel like I have a mixture of tastes. I grew up in Boise, Idaho, so I also like country music.
That's okay.
I can enjoy that.
I still like you.
I'm not I hate to say this because I wish I was a fan of classical music.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say hair bands or something.
No, but my husband is, but I'm not so much.
Okay.
But yeah, I have a wide variety of music that I like.
All right, that's cool. Now you traveled a bit, so with that comes cuisine.
Oh yeah.
What is? And I was like, I've got to find a new way of phrasing this. But it's like it's your death row meal, right? It's your last ever meal. What's on your plate? What's it look like?
I'm not going to say tacos. The one episode I watched of Chamber Chat, I heard no more tacos.
No.
Although I do love Mexican. I love to try different things, but I'm going to go with.
There can be a couple different things on your plate, but one meal. What's it look like?
Okay. Well, okay. Here. I like a lot of different things. I'm going to give you 2 different things.
Go on then.
One is I love, and I just made this recently. I love a great medium rare ribeye steak on the barbecue grill.
That's a good answer.
And
solid.
And grilled veggies.
Okay.
So that would be awesome, and really great bread. A slice of really great sourdough bread or something like that.
Okay.
I also love any kind of fish, pretty much.
All right. Grilled.
I like it grilled as long as it's not dry. Usually I like it when somebody else does the fish.
I like it when somebody else has done any of it. It's great.
Yeah.
Same question in reverse. What is one thing you've tried which you're like, no, never doing that ever again?
Let's see. Well.
Or probably not doing again. Whoa.
Yeah, let's see. I'm thinking. Well, in terms of sushi, I really like sushi. I like all kinds of sushi.
Nearly everybody has a sushi reference.
Really?
Yeah.
But things that the
tentacles, the octopus thing?
No, that's okay. But the things that pop in your mouth, with those little.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't.
Egg kind of things.
Yeah, not good.
I don't like those, and I'm not a raw oyster fan. Although I do like them barbecued on the grill, and you do them in the shell, and then as soon as they kind of pop a little bit, you open them up and put melted butter that has garlic and salt in it. That's really good.
You're making me hungry now.
Yeah, that's That's good.
That is cool. I was like figuring out the person, celebrity that you would most like to meet. Celebrity being whatever that means.
Okay, I'm gonna call a celebrity Brene Brown.
All right.
I've read all her books.
Yeah.
It's the last book. Her Atlas of the Heart is the last one I've read, and yeah, I just love her genuine nature.
My wife, she does I don't know if it's a regular podcast, but she does a podcast type thing. And my wife always listens to her.
Same. I listen to both of them. Dare to Lead and Unlocking Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. What about somebody from history who's dead, long gone, or shortly gone, whatever, that you would most like to sit down and have dinner with?
I'm going to just say, two people come to mind. The first was Amelia Earhart, but the second is Beryl Markham. And they're similar. They're both pilots, but Beryl Markham, there's a book written about her called, is it South with the Night, North with the Night, East with the Night? No, I can't remember which one.
Well, who
but
is it?
She's
Everyone
in
knows
Africa.
it.
She was a bush pilot in Africa.
Oh, okay.
In the, I think, 30s or 40s.
Okay.
It's been a little while since I've read that book. But both of those women just have, they were the first doing those things
Being
as
pilots,
females.
right. Yeah.
And they just had grit and smarts and they were interesting characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'd like to be.
You've traveled a lot, right?
Yeah.
In terms of places I was gonna say best place you've ever been. I'm like, I'm sure you can list 25 of them, but let's get it on one. Come on.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. I actually know the answer to this because I do get asked this a lot about the trip.
Sure.
And I mean, you could throw a dart at, between Central America and I would, yeah. But the one place that really took my breath away because it was so unique and actually so harsh and magnificent is in Patagonia, the national park called Torres del Paine.
Okay.
And that means towers, mountains that are towers, and it's just spectacular.
Yeah.
So and also the landscape it's so vast and big, and so it has these prairies that are like golden yellow and ranchers, all kinds of different vicuña animals, and
it kind of makes you feel almost like insignificant, sort of.
Yeah, it's just so big. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's spectacular.
What about, again, as much as you travel, what about somewhere that you haven't been? Bucket list.
Yeah, I would say, and I don't know why this has come to mind lately, because I've thought about it for years and years, actually, is Bali.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Or just kind of anywhere, really, on that side of the world. I haven't been on that side of the world at all.
Okay. So, why Bali?
It just seems so different. I mean, I think that's the thing I loved about all the cultures that we got to go through in Latin America is that they're just so different than ours. And yeah, I like to experience that. You don't have a frame of reference. You don't say, oh, that restaurant looks like a good one. Because you kind of don't even know what to look for. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up here, and it was actually funny, we were joking when Jalene came into the office before we started, because we've been emailing and chatting back and forth for 2 years. We haven't actually seen each other since probably before the pandemic. So the pandemic, I don't think anyone could really say the last 2 years have been a fun ride, right? It's been a bit of a thrill ride. So, but there are a few good things that have come out of the pandemic for everybody, and especially, particularly in your line of work, I'm sure you deal with a lot of that type of question or situation. So for you, again, it's been a rough couple of years, but what's come out of it for you that's like, this couldn't have happened without COVID happening?
Getting better at virtual facilitation.
Yeah.
So I am also a part of a program called the Complete Leader Program, and I'm on the faculty and I'm a coach in that program, and I got to volunteer in a global effort with an organization called it's MAF, it's Mission Aviation Fellows, I think, out of Nampa, Idaho. And that's where Ron Price, who started the Complete Leader list there. And I got to facilitate a group in Australia and Indonesia.
Yeah.
And we met for 23-hour sessions. And that was intense.
Wait.
Over the course of a year. So during the pandemic, yeah.
I thought you said 23-hour sessions.
No.
23 1 hour.
3-hour sessions.
I was like, holy smoke. And then you're like, it was intense. I'm like, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. And I got to co-facilitate with Ron Price, who wrote the program. Wrote the Complete Leader, the book. And so I don't think that would have happened had there not been a pandemic and things were, people took a step back and went, wow, what can we do during this time to actually learn from it? And a case study is going to be written on it.
Yeah.
And so I got to take part of that.
And what about you, last question, what about you personally?
Oh, personally out of the pandemic?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Well, I think I enjoy staying home more.
Yeah? Just get comfortable.
I cooked more.
Oh, okay.
My first thing I cooked when we got put into lockdown, I learned right away, I cannot do this. I made homemade salted caramel and brownies.
That's not good.
Either whipped cream or ice cream.
I'm sure it tasted great.
That was a bad way to start the pandemic.
Yeah, if you started that way, man.
Yeah. But
a treadmill.
I did get into cooking more, so that was good.
That's awesome.
Can't think of anything else.
Well, like I said, we haven't seen each other in a couple of years.
I know.
It's always cool sitting down and chatting with you, and just you're so like there's just this energy. It's really, really cool. So it's super cool to be able to do a chamber chat finally.
I know.
With you.
I know. We had a couple of reschedules.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I gotta say, Simon, I really do miss you, sincerely.
It's fun.
Love our conversations. We always think of ideas and new directions, and
it's easy to come up with crazy stuff.
I know. Then we gotta find somebody to do it.
Like, Jalene, could Jalene do this?
Yeah,
Let her figure it out.
Right. That's the tough thing about being a small business, is there's nobody to stop you.
Yeah, nobody to rein you in.
Yeah.
If people, the hundreds of millions of people that are watching this, if they want to get a hold of you and be like, I need her, how do they do it?
Go to my website. It's my first and last name. I'll spell it. Jalene Case, JalenCase.com. And there's a link right on the homepage to just schedule a time to chat. And really, I'm very easy to chat with.
Yeah.
And we can just talk about what your questions are. It just starts there.
And they might not even know that they need that sort of thing. Just go there, check it out, and just talk with her.
Yeah.
It's cool.
That's it. People talking. There's a lot of power in people talking.
Exactly. Lovely to see you.
You too.
We will see you guys on another episode of Chamber Chat. See you later.